Good morning. My name is Liam Allen, and this is the environmental education course for AI. Today, we're going to be talking or listening into sound. Now, sound for me is just this most amazing form factor. I love listening to podcasts, I love music, and sometimes I am able to absorb information much better through audio than I would through reading it, and especially the speed of which I can then process it. But sound is a multitude of different things. First of all, we have speech, we have music, we have like sound effects, transcription or voice to text or whatever it may be, and obviously translation. Now, I want to break these things down, and to be honest, the main way of demoing this is through demos to show you what it's all about. Sound has a very strong need within environmental education because it gives you the ability to connect with the audience through, images give you visual, text gives you textual, and sound just, for many people, emotes emotion. Because it's the sound of narration, it's the sound of an animal, of the wave, of the ocean, just that kind of all-encompassing feeling around the world. This is what really makes the videos I've created, I think, makes people move, is when there's audio over the top, be it speech, be it music. But the other kind of more technical benefit of this is if I am able to digitize my own voice or a voice that I think is going to connect with my audience, then I can tweak the language, not the like English, French, German language. I can tweak the words for that particular audience in a textual sense, and then just generate the audio. I haven't got to get someone to come in and re-record it. Their voice might have changed slightly day to day, sore throat, that type of stuff. I can add cultural references in with music. I can make things more jungle or more urban because the sounds of a street, of the cars of people hustle bustling in a city versus that of a cricket or of a fish that's in the kind of the Amazon. And all this just amounts to much better storytelling. To really engage more audience, to compete with the directors creating car and jewelry ads or the TikTokers or whatever they may be. And once we kind of pull all this together, the dynamicness, the fact that we can then translate this into 50 languages, the fact that we can then intersperse different imagery in that is related to different cultures and output and share that message across the world is, to me, the most powerful thing. But the best thing to do is to show you how this all works. So first up is speech. And for this, we're going to use a tool called 11 Labs. So 11 Labs, great tool, great team. And what it is a way for us to synthesize speech into different voices. So what I can do here is I can basically, so if I log in, you get some free credits on the free account, or you can purchase. You can add your own custom voice. You can read some text, and then it will create a digital version of how you sound. But you can also pick from a multitude of different voices. So, for example, this is Joshua, the British reporter for the news.
Allow the world to live as it chooses, and allow yourself to live as you choose.
And this is Dorothy. This might sound familiar from one of the previous modules.
Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes.
The fox has many tricks. The hedgehog has but one, but that is the best of all.
The greatest part of our happiness depends on our dispositions, not our circumstances.
And as you can see here, there is a multitude of different voices from different ethnicities, from different tonalities, and different kind of use cases, like even things like video games.
Our distrust is very expensive.
I feel like he's like the radio 94.7 type of thing. So now what I can do here is I can now just write some text. Now let's keep it into our kind of zone and say, write me a poem about rising sea levels. So I've just dropped into ChatGPT, you can't see, to get this poem. I'm just going to grab the first 3 paragraphs and drop back into here. And I'm just going to paste them in. And for this voice, we're going to use, I love Oscar and Wayne.
Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
So we're going to now generate this. And what happens is, as you can see here, I'm using 436 tokens.
Upon the shore, where waves once danced, now creeps a tide, a rising trance. The ocean's breath, a steady swell, whispers tales no one can tell.
So that took 436 tokens. I had 10,000 remaining. Now, the great thing is I have this, but I can also then just instantly change it into Emily. And it's quite fast.
Upon the shore where waves once danced, now creeps a tide, a rising trance. The ocean's breath, a steady swell, whispers tales no one can tell. Where seagulls soared and children played, the waters rise, their path unswayed. With every inch, a silent plea, as coastlines yield to destiny.
Oh, that got me. And then within that, I can do some kind of variations around the stability of the voice, the clarity, etc. So from that voice, I can then take it, download it, embed it in my podcast, in my video, in whatever it may be. And if I want to regenerate it, I just have to keep the text, and then I can just regenerate according to it. So that's speech. And now I kind of want to talk about music. Currently, in March 2024, music in AI space is about to hit the mainstream. There's been some amazing new products that have come out, of which I'm going to kind of share with you now, and that are producing some quite impressive outputs. So let's do that. Okay, so first off, this one's a bit more technical, but I want to kind of ease in and show you the progression that's happened even over only the last kind of few months. So Music Gen, this is a tool that I've used many times. It's hosted on a thing of Hugging Face, which is a very, it's basically like the place where AI community host their models, and you can interact with that community. And what I can do is I can just describe some music. So I can say the intro to a movie, or intro to a 1990s action movie, for example. Now, because this is on Hugging Face, it can be slow. It can be slow to kind of generate it. It'll generate like a 15-second clip. So definitely sounds very 90s action movie. Sounds great for some sound effects, and that's why I've been using that for quite a lot of repeat. And I can just press and download that file and embed it inside of my video. Or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to jump across to another product called Suno, which is great for song generation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take in ChatGPT our poem. I'm going to say, turn that poem into a rap song. Okay, so it's done that. Let's now drop this into here. So here is, so we want custom mode. We're going to enter our lyrics. Let's just get rid of the definitions for each section. Okay, so that's our lyrics, and we want to give a style to it. So let's say our style is early 2000 rap, like, let's go Eminem. Sea Rise rap, let's call it. And let's create that as well. Okay, so let's listen to the first part of our song.
Listen up, let me paint a scene. Where the waves once danced, now it's just a dream. Rising tides, creeping high. Whispers in the wind, you hear it cry. Used to be the shore where we play and roam. Now it's underwater, before we home. Ignore the signs, nature's plea. Now the coastline vanished for all to see. Rise and sea levels, can't you see the signs? Man.
To be fair, it's not as bad as quite a lot of the music nowadays. So as you can see, it's created that, and then here's a different variation of it as well.
Let me paint a scene where the waves once danced, now it's just a dream. Rising tides, creeping high. Whispers in the land, can you hear that cry? Used to be a shore when we played and roam. Now it's underwater, watery home. Ignore the signs, nature's plea.
It's pretty good. So now if we drop back to also, I'm going to take out the stability bit because it's not working. So as you can see there, it shows how music and how creative this AI can be in generating something that is, it might not be the best, but I guarantee you it's better than what most environmental education programs and advocacy is using now. I'm sure if you started all pushing out raps and funky AI images around your cause, it would be a shock to the system in a positive way. So for sound effects, I don't actually have a tool that I found that actually is amazing, but I think you may be watching this video in a few weeks' time from its release, and I know of like 3 that are coming out very soon. So I put it in here purely to explain that sound effects are coming. The ability to be like, oh, the door creaked, the glass was dropped, to be able to pull in all these different kind of nuanced sound effects is going to be something that we'll be able to do very, very quickly. Now, transcription is something people may be a bit more familiar with regards to, reading in something and then getting the text kind of out, the classic dictation thing. And the world of AI is no different with the area of transcription. I personally love being able to go for a walk and talk and just kind of share some thoughts, or when I wrote my book, I dictated quite a lot of the book verbally, and then ran it through a transcription service. There is now an amazing transcription service model which has been released for free, which I would like to show you, just because it starts to, again, offer up another way for if you're someone who is not great at writing blogs, if you're someone who doesn't know how to generate images and how you want to articulate and promote your cause, but you love talking about it. If you've given talks, then you can take the audio from that and turn it into something interesting. Now, there is a tool. So there's a tool on Mac, and it's also on Windows. This one's called Mac Whisper. And what it is, it's based on the Whisper model. So OpenAI is a company in the space, and they've released open source a thing called the Whisper model. And the Whisper model is just a really, really advanced AI model for understanding speech and turning it into text. So I can basically give this app, I can give it audio recordings, I can have it listen to Zoom calls and things, and then just dictate the output of that meeting. I can get it to transcribe podcasts, or these videos that I'm recording now will be placed on a web page with an article and description underneath, because I will have taken this video, put it through Mac Whisper, it will have extracted the audio, and then it will turn it into the text, and then I will have got it to then turn that text into a narration kind of blog for the page that supplements this. And I just want to kind of show the speed of how it operates, because it runs locally on your machine. It doesn't send anything to the cloud. So fingers crossed this will work. So I'm just going to say hello. My name is Lee, and I'm recording a video here right now for my humanity mini course for environmental educators on how to use AI to better storytell and get a handle of these AI tools. As you can see, I talked quite quickly, and if I transcribe that, it was obviously only a 15-second audio file, but what we'll start to see now is it now starts to transcribe it. And as you can see, it's very quick. Now I can then take that text, drop it into something like ChatGPT, and then summarize it accordingly if obviously it was quite extensive. Personally, if I do something, record say 20 minutes of audio, it normally takes about 10 minutes for it to do the transcription. And then finally in this space, I want to kind of talk about translation. Translation is where a lot of audio AI has been making its kind of mark on the world. You'll have noticed if you go to some YouTube channels, then there's dubbing in different languages. That's typically done by voice actors. But things like 11 Labs, which we showed you for the voice transcription, they also have a dubbing service. Let me just share that a second. Like here, where you can basically say, this is in English, and I would like it to translate to French, for example. And it will basically convert it to a different language whilst trying to preserve the unique characteristics in the person's original voice. This is something that's been rolled out across Spotify as well and some of their podcasts. And further kind of throws into the mix this idea of being able to very much turn your content into something that's not just from your native tongue. If you natively speak English, you might want, but actually the work you're doing is in Quebec, then maybe you want it to turn to French, but you don't speak French. You have to hire someone, get to translate, you make an amend, they have to go again. But actually with this tool, you can create a dub version in that different language. Now, it's not going to be 100% perfect on day one, but it's something that means getting your message out there better. So that is everything around audio and speech and voice. Next up, we kind of pull all this stuff together in the next module and we construct some videos. Until module 8, have a nice day.